Hello. In this iteration of my physical media series, I'm actually talking about the confusion of physical media. Going wacky out of those titles. Today's video in particular is actually in response to the recent announcement of Criterion doing a 4K UHD of Don't Look Now and Videodrome, which there's a weird irony that happens sometimes when I buy physical media. I used to go to JB Hi-Fi a lot, and when I would buy stuff there, a few days later they'd announce, here's a 20% off sale, so I could have saved money. Now I buy a Blu-ray of a film, and then a couple of days later, another brand announces that they're doing a copy of the film. I bought Crimes of the Future, the Cronenberg film on 4K from Neon, and of course, within a month, Second Sight have made their announcement. Oh look, we're doing a 4K UHD. Hot damn. Then of course you get this new announcement from Criterion that they're doing Videodrome in 4K. And I literally 3 days ago bought the Arrow Video 4K release. Now, in all fairness, I actually already have the Criterion for Videodrome. I just wanted to get the 4K transfer and the special features that Arrow Video has that I imagine would be, unique to their own. If it was the limited edition version, I'd definitely be completely okay with it, but the fact of I still got it on sale because they got a 50% off sale, all that kind of stuff. Easy peasy to me. Now, the reason I'm kind of bringing this up with this confusion is not because I'm confused, it's the fact that I'm buying the same film from two different labels, one with a different transfer, one with different special features, that kind of stuff. It's never really that's an issue for me. And it's more or less importing. This is where I'm digging into. So they announced also Don't Look Now. Now I've got the previous release of Don't Look Now from Criterion, yada yada yada, whatever. I didn't really care much to get the 4K release from Studio Canal when they released theirs like 3-4 years ago. I was like, oh cool, okay, they're doing a 4K, which I could get at JB Hi-Fi, I could actually get the 4K of Don't Look Now from there because it's the exact same version. Studio Canal has a Classics Remastered label at JB Hi-Fi in Australia, so that's how I can usually get them. I only sometimes go directly from a UK site, maybe Amazon or something, used to be Zavvi, because I'd get extra stuff, like I'd get a Blu-ray disc usually included, because the Australian versions don't have a Blu-ray disc usually, and that would entitle special features and stuff like that. Now, the main reason I'm bringing this all up is because, of course, like I said, region coding. Region coding is a big thing. It's been a big thing since DVDs, because DVDs had, 6 different region codes? I think 0 was for all regions, and then 1 through 6 for different regions of the planet. Blu-ray updated that to just being 3 regions, A, B, C, with A being like the Americas and Canada and whatnot. B was Britain, the UK, and Australia, and C was... I'm pretty sure C was China. I know that Japan also has region A, but it's like that, whatever. Then, of course, they released UHDs, Ultra HD 4K discs, and they're all region, which is something I always find very amusing when someone announces, hey, we're doing the 4K UHD of this, and the person in a comment section says, oh, will it be region A? Will it be region B? They never ask will it be region C, because I don't think anyone who buys anything region C is actually buying authentic stuff. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really know anyone who buys region C stuff. Nevertheless, it's always that question. Is it region this? Is it region that? Even though the 4K itself is all regions, people have to keep stipulating 4K is all regions. It always has been. Ideally, it always will be. I know that there were some recent Second Sight releases, like Brotherhood of the Wolf, that were original pressed as Region A in 4K, which is very, very weird. I think that was just a malfunction, like a function. What's a producing error or something? Like when they released it, it accidentally was region locked, even though it shouldn't have been. I don't know. I never got the full story of that. I just heard it from Dead End DVD, so I haven't bought the 4K of that film for that reason. Also because I have the Blu-ray. Also because I could just get the Studio Canal version. Oh, now that begs the question again with importing. Scream Factory has a 4K. Studio Canal has a 4K. Criterion has a 4K. Arrow Video has a 4K. Oh shit, which version do I get? Now this is where the other half of the question comes into. You have importing that relates to, oh, I want to get the Region B release, so I'm going to get it from the UK. Or I want to get the Region A release because I'm in America, so I'm only going to get it from America. where a lot of people are very self-centered and think of only their own country as their own thing. It's a thing. It's not like even a stereotype anymore. Is it even a stereotype? I don't know. There's a thing I've noticed of a lot of American buyers where they will emphasize, oh, is it region A? And say, like recently with Criterion's announcement of, Don't Look Now in 4K, that people are saying, finally, there's a 4K UHD of this movie. I've been waiting for years. There's been a 4K UHD of that film 4 years, just in the UK. You can still import it. You can get it on Amazon. You can probably get it at special retailers that you have in your country that import stuff for you and then sell it to the public. We have stores like that in Australia as well. You've got Dead and DVD. You've got Cinemaniacs Home Media. You've got quite a number of them. Not many, but enough, So, it's always annoying when I see American people complain that a movie they have to import the movie and stuff like that, or, oh, it's region B locked and whatever. And it's just like, firstly, region free players exist. They've existed for a long time now. Go buy one. Even in Australia, there's a brand called Laser. It's $50, cheap shit, but it's still all regions. Me personally, I go with the modifiers. I go to a specific place, they modify it. It means that I have my own player with its own capabilities, plus it's modified for all regions. That's just how it is. I currently have an all-region Sony player that's a 4K UHD. My only annoyance with that is the fact it doesn't have Dolby Vision accessible. Like, it says that you can activate it, but then when I try to watch something that has Dolby Vision, it just doesn't work, because Sony's shit. Don't go with Sony. Maybe they're TVs, but I don't know. Blu-ray players and TVs, I've had ups and downs with. Definitely Blu-ray players. Panasonic, I like. Just wanted to put that out there, because I would love to upgrade my Panasonic player to be all regions, but it doesn't matter to me too much right now. Also, it costs a few $100, and I'm like, I don't know, my 4K player still works for Sony, so it's like, it's fine. I don't use it that much, so it doesn't have enough time to degrade. Nevertheless, I live in Australia. Importing's a big deal. It always has been. I could order stuff from the UK, I can order stuff from the US, I can order stuff from Japan, or China, or wherever the hell I want to order stuff from. It's annoying, because we don't have many manufacturers here, or even our own boutique labels have not been running for that long. You have Imprint, there's Chameleon Films. There aren't that many, and a lot of the time, usually their releases are region B, because that's just the region coding we're in. If it's obviously 4K discs, it is all regions. So it's just kind of, this is where I'm saying the confusion, because it seems like it's a confusing thing to people that they don't realize that you can just import a movie that happens to be 4K in a different country. Maybe it's because, I don't know, the Blu-ray is region B. I don't want to buy a region B Blu-ray, even if all the special features are on the 4K disc. Say, like, again, Arrow Video's version of Videodrome doesn't come with a Blu-ray disc because all the special features are on the 4K, which I love that they do that. So that's why I ordered that version from them, because I'm like, well, I can get the 4K UHD, the Dolby Vision transfer, all that kind of stuff, and their special features that I don't already have, even if some of them might still be on the Criterion release, which I have had the Blu-ray Criterion release for a couple of years now. It's only been this year that I've actually watched the film from the Criterion to actually seeing a 4K transfer in cinema. Wonderful year for me with Cronenberg. Let's be honest, if you've seen my channel over the past couple months, I've been watching a lot of Cronenberg. It's fine. So it comes to that kind of essence of, it's just a region code, I mean, I can understand if there's different releases, say the latest Cinderella 4K. I'm debating the import structure of that, because they released a Disney Movie Club edition or whatever it is. Nevertheless, they've done a limited edition release, basically, where not just a slipcover, which I've never cared for, but I do like when I get them on the occasion. It's not exactly ironic, but it is something I do mention in some of my videos. But they had a release which had the 4K, the Blu-ray, the DVD, and a digital copy. Now, personally, I don't care for digital copies. You do what you will with it. DVD copy is, and I'm pretty sure the digital copy and the DVD copy are limited to that release. Maybe it might just be the DVD copy. Nevertheless, the standard release that you can get, which comes out in August, releases with, and in the UK as well, the 4K and the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has all the special features from like the signature release, but not the diamond release. Notable. They kind of get like less releases as each film comes out, not to mention the fact that they have differing releases as well. I looked up the comparisons. Outside of the Laserdisc being the best release, the second best release is either one of the DVD releases, or, which a lot of these were ported from, or you're getting the Diamond release on Blu-ray. Thing is, of course, new transfer. If I get the Blu-ray, the 4K Blu-ray set, it comes with the new transfer on the Blu-ray. It's like, great, that's wonderful. You know, it might be region B if I go with the UK version, region A if I go with the American version. I don't really mind. I have both players. It works either way. Realistically, I just want the 4K disc. But they released the 4K disc in Australia. Actually, before it came out in the US and the UK, it came out in Australia. Not, of course, the Disney Movie Club edition that came out months ago. The solo edition came out in Australia a few weeks ago, and it's just for 25 Australian dollars. It's just the 4K disc, and I say just because it is literally just the movie, and I think that that is absolute bullshit. This is where importing becomes necessity, because I mean, unless you like me, who like really dives deep into what exact thing is each different, and I'm like, okay, if I get the UK/US edition, because they both come with the same special features and stuff, apparently images seem to differ again. Nevertheless, it's basically buying the same film from two different region codes, and it's the same. It's the new transfer on both discs. Okay, that's a highlight, but I could wait for a sale at JB, get the cheaper version of the 4K, and then get the $10 version of the Diamond edition or whatever it is that came out in like 2012-ish. And buy that because it comes with all the special features plus a DVD copy, which means I can replace the DVD with the 4K, and bada boom, I have a 2-disc set and comes with both transfers, all the audio tracks, because again, the 4K only has one audio track, and you get all the special features, except for 2 that were on the signature release, which I don't care much for personally. I want the long docos. I probably won't watch them, but I want to have them, especially because Disney Plus doesn't really do that. So that's an issue porting-wise and importing-wise that I find is a thing. But of course, I did have that debate. Do I get the US edition? Do I get the UK edition? It's both basically the same thing, but again, one's region B, one's region A in terms of the Blu-rays. Which is fine, I guess. You know, I probably would have gone with the UK edition, but again, because of the lack of special features, or the specificity of special features, I've decided to go with that alternate route of buying the JB version and then buying the old Blu-ray release and combining them together. It is what it is. So, it's just, this is where, again, I emphasize the confusion. Physical media has evolved a lot in the past 20-30 years, which is fine, especially since VHS dropped out and you get DVD, then Blu-ray, then 4K. A lot of regular consumers still buy DVDs over Blu-ray and 4K, even though there was a week very recently in June where Blu-rays had actually held up above the market average. So, like, I think I had saved an image of a pie chart to my phone. Let me go grab it. As of the end of the week of June 17th, 2023, 20.2% of purchases for the home video charts, top 50 disc sellers, format market share, 20.2% was UHD. 39.1% was DVD, and 40.7% was Blu-ray. I don't actually know whether this is, like, restricted to the US, or if it's globally. Nevertheless, that shows that Blu-rays still have a bit of a priority over DVDs to some people, even if it's just restricted to the US. And that's an interesting sign, because in terms of people buying physical media, most people still buy DVDs because it's cheaper. They don't care for special features, they don't care for DVD image quality, or sound quality, or transfers, or, you know, director's visions, or, you know, how an image should look, how it should sound, all that. They don't care for the authenticity. Sometimes they just care to watch a movie. Hence they watch Netflix and other streaming services and all that kind of stuff. It's fine. It is what it is. That's just how the consumer market goes. And eventually it'll change, and people, well, it might eventually change given what the current strikes are going for and all that kind of stuff, and people might just rely more on physical media. That's another essence of the confusion, I'd say, for physical media, that people are like, oh, what's the difference between a DVD and a Blu-ray? Why should they care? But I don't care to argue against that. Look, if you want to watch streaming, if you want to watch DVDs, you do whatever the hell you want. My obvious issue is more with actual consumers like myself, people who saw this release of Videodrome and Don't Look Now and are like, oh, finally there are 4Ks of these movies, even though there have been 4Ks from other labeled brands for the past couple of years, you know, again with Arrow Video and with Studio Canal. But oh no, they're just in the UK. I don't want to import. That costs money. Yes, that's the other obvious equation to it, which is exactly another reason why I've gone with this weird strategy for buying Cinderella on 4K, is because it was cheaper. It was cheaper for me to buy, it would be cheaper for me to buy the $25 version of the 4K and the $9 version on, I actually bought it for $9, of the Blu-ray from eBay. Because that's, you know, again, $35. In Australia, a standard 4K set is $40. You know, maybe it's between $30 to $40 in price range. This is Australian dollars. I always find it annoying whenever you get a 4K disc that's more expensive than that. Like, you know, especially if it's a 4K by itself and it doesn't have a Blu-ray and it's that price range. Usually if it's just a single disc, it's a bit cheaper. But sometimes it always isn't. It depends. It's really annoying. It could just be, oh, it's a new film, say the new John Wick film. We'll put the Blu-ray out for $40, the 4K for $40, the Blu-ray for $30, and the Steelbook for $45. Even though the Steelbook, being a limited edition, also comes with the Blu-ray, and the 4K is just a 4K, which is annoying. Which is why I bought the Steelbook, but also because I have already got the Steelbooks for the other films, I figured I might as well complete the collection, you know? There's a lot of confusion, a lot of annoyance. Again, money is a big factor to it with importing. I don't always import. I'll buy from Amazon on the occasion. Sometimes I'll bulk buy, or I'll buy if they've got like a slight sale on to some degree, because again, Amazon's a marketplace that's shifting values all the time. Or I stick with people I know who I like buying physical media from. Again, Dead End DVD, Cinemaniacs Home Media, stuff like that, where it's people I know them, or I don't know Dead End DVD personally, but I have met them before. You know, I find brands like that. You get Via Vision, you get Imprint, you get, you know, Chameleon Films, you get boutique labels in Australia as well. It's nice to be able to, that's just because it's nice to have like boutique brands and whatever, but in terms of importing and stuff, it's kind of nice sometimes to find another store that's already ordered a bunch of copies and you just buy it from them. Like, I'll still buy Arrow Video films directly from Arrow Video, but Criterion's I'm up in the air about. Sometimes I get it from, you know, the Cinemaniacs, sometimes I get it from Amazon. I don't really get them from anywhere else because I can't buy them directly from Criterion. They don't ship to Australia directly, and they used to do it through Barnes & Noble, but they don't do that anymore. It's annoying. I'm trying to think of what other options I have outside of regular retails like JB Hi-Fi, and, well, there's nothing really else in Australia now, is there? So I have a bit of, you know, back and forth between. But again, I do like still importing, even if it's from an actual different seller. Again, like, I got a Vinegar Syndrome release from Dead End DVD, and it was the Roadhouse 4K, like, limited edition version. It was $75 with free postage. Was it free postage? No, but I did buy it with, like, 2 other films, so I was happy to, it kind of equaled out to some degree. But it's like, it's a nice factor knowing that I can just do that, you know. I can still import them from their website. Like, Vinegar Syndrome is one of those websites where I can just order directly from them. I order directly from Arrow Video. Like, I had a recent comment on one of my videos saying, oh, where do you get the Arrow Video stuff from? It's like, I get it from Arrow Video. Like, they're one of the few boutique labels I actually will still import from. Second Sight as well, because they will still wrap it all in bubble wrap and actually pad it and post it. Which is weird, especially for Arrow Video, like Second Sight, because they're wonderful. They always have been, always will be. But, ideally. But with Arrow Video, it's like, they're owned by the Hut Group. They're owned by the people who own Zavvi, and Zavvi are notoriously known for bad packaging. But Arrow Video, I've never experienced bad packaging. I've actually only experienced good packaging from them. But, you know, stuff like them, Powerhouse, a lot of UK brands. I will import a lot from UK brands. I will hardly import from US brands because of shipping rates, especially from the US, ridiculously expensive. So that's why I'm usually very happy to buy from other stores in Australia, again, Cinemaniacs, Dead End DVD, because they will have it. Even if for a couple more dollars dearer, on the odd occasion, it works out better, because it's like, oh, if I had just gotten Roadhouse by itself from the US, it probably would have cost me $200. It cost me $75 because I didn't do that. Now, of course, I could be wrong by that. I could be over-exaggerating, which is fine. It makes sense to over-exaggerate to some degree. But at the same time, it makes more sense for me to have bought it from another store. But again, that also makes me think, oh no, I got to make sure I'm, FOMO. I got to be there right when it gets dropped or whatever. It's like, I bought it because they happen to have it. I just happened to be browsing their website. It happened to be there, and I was like, I'll get that. There was an 88 Films 4K for Burial Ground that I also got, because I was like, well, I've been wanting to get this. It was suggested by a subscriber, as well as Zombie Holocaust, which I've yet to order. But Burial Ground was out. I figured, sure, I'll get the limited edition from 88 Films, but, from Dead End DVD, same as a Mondo Macabro release, which I've never gotten before. Another US release in this case. And it was nice, because it's like one's a brand I've never bought from, the other's a brand I used to buy a lot of 88 Films releases, but Savvy doesn't sell Blu-rays anymore, so I don't know where to get 88 Film releases from anymore. I mean, realistically, it's the UK. I could just find their website and buy it from there directly, which in reality I could. There's no reason not to. It might be cheaper, but again, usually with releases like that, much like me and my friend Lachlan, who has been on this channel a few times, him and I will do bulk buys. So him and I did a bulk buy of Vinegar Syndrome last year. We recently did a bulk buy for Second Sight as well, just so we could save on shipping. So like, he'll buy the whole entire package, and I'll pay him back for my 2 releases and half the shipping and whatever. So that works out. So I find my own ways to buy physical media from other countries. It's where I try to cut out the confusion for myself. When it comes to region coding stuff, I have the liberty of being like, I have 2 different players. Both of them, one of them is all regions and a 4K player as well. The other one is just a standard Australian 4K player, but it plays region B discs. But it has Dolby Vision. But if there's a 4K UHD, like for the Vinegar Syndrome release with Roadhouse, put that in my regular player, because it's all regions, because it's 4K UHD. But if I wanted to watch the special features, I would have had to have put on my other player to watch the special features, because they were on the Blu-ray disc. Yes, that's annoying, but that's just because I bought the Sony 4K player with the extra modifier, which is a thing on me. I have to deal with that. It's fine. I've got 3 different HDMI cables just for that element. One for one player, one for another player, and one for the receiver. So everything's plugged right into the TV, and then it all ports back into the receiver. Because, I don't know, I was having problems. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Moral of the story, to avoid confusion, buy a region-free player and just find a good store, I guess. Like, I can't just emphasize buy straight from wherever, because shipping rates can be exceptionally ridiculous. So I can understand that. I can understand people would be looking at, the 4K UHD Arrow video release of Videodrome and be like, oh, damn, I really want that, but the shipping rate's insane. Again, my option there would be bulk buying. I don't know what shipping costs are like from the UK to the US. I imagine it would be cheap, but you guys are really right there next to each other. I'm at the other side of the goddamn planet, it's a bit much more, It's still surprisingly, it's a lot cheaper to order from the UK than it is from the US, so I don't know. There's also Amazon, but they're not 100% trustworthy in terms of their shipping, so not in terms of prices, but in terms of damage and getting everything on time. Actually, timing's usually fine. It's just damaging. That's always been the problem. They're not great at packaging, but you probably know that by now. So, yeah, try to avoid confusion where you can, and try to embrace different, region codes. Sure, it might be a region B, and you might be in a region A country. Either get a region A player, or a multiple region player, or just, I don't know, continue living the life. It sounds like it's kind of a form of privilege, but again, you put in the money, you get the rewards. I think. I mean, as it is, I'm trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm going to be nice here because I don't want people to be overspending their money. It was like, but we're buying things. That's the point of what I'm talking about. We're buying physical media. You're spending money anyway. Spend money on something that's good quality. when it comes like down to brand control, you know, I can imagine people would be like, "Oh, I want to get the 4K UHD of Don't Look Now and Videodrome," but it's from, you know, Region B things, but it's from like Studio Canal, Narrow Video, and I don't like them as much or whatever. I love Criterion because it's numbered and it seems more boutique-ish. There's no real difference, you know. I have my own choices in which releases I go with of movies based on brand. Brand things a whole different avenue, but yeah, I don't know. It's up to you, but import to your heart's content and try to avoid confusion. I guess I don't know. 4Ks all regions. Give in. Long live the new flesh. Adios.